hey, if it works for you, it works for you. But if it doesn't, and you know truly within your heart that you really desire to have more, you need to get out. Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Trish TV, Trish Talk Tuesday, Situationships Part 2. Last week we spoke about situationships. I just introduced it to you guys, what situationships are, and then my experience, also why I feel like it's not worth it to be in a situationship. This is going to be basically about how to just let it go, how to just move completely forward, and hopefully this will be very helpful to you in real time if you're actually dealing with this, or if you know someone who is dealing with it, this may be a great video for you to show them, or you can give them a few pointers from what I've told you. These are just my personal opinions based on my personal experience and how it effectively helped me to move on and to get completely out of that situationship. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So obviously we know that situationships are just another term for crazy, sloppy relationships. Basically, it's nothing but an emotional roller coaster. It's confusion. It's full of misunderstandings. It's booty calls. It's everything that will keep you thinking like, what is really going on? You're always going to have questions. You're always going to have questions that will go unanswered if you're someone who really desires to be in a relationship, should have anything to do with. You ask, what do I do? What steps do I take to move forward and to get out of this situation? What is step one? Well, I do have to warn you, please don't expect things to change overnight. When you've invested so much time with somebody, whether they deserved it or not, it's always going to be just as much of an emotional roller coaster to get out of that situation as it is to be in it. But if you do first say to yourself, I don't like this situation, I don't want to be in this, I know that I do deserve more. Once you first admit it to yourself, that's step one, but just know that it will take a little bit of time. So with that being said, you have to start detaching from things that you're doing in the situation that's keeping you there. You probably cook and clean for him. You probably accompany him on certain trips with friends and family if he's comfortable with you being around to that level. When you stay attached to people around the person that you're trying to get detached from, trust me, I promise you, it's going to be that much harder. Letting go of him means also letting go of them. It doesn't mean that you hate them, but for your own sanity and for your own mental health, you have to detach from what could also kind of trick you to come in right back into that situation. Be prepared to move on if they're not on the same page. You know, you have told this person more than once what you're looking for, and if we're not going to have this, I need to go ahead and move on. There is something about whenever you, for the last time, let somebody know and they know that you're serious about moving on, all of a sudden they want to just do everything right. Everything that you've ever asked of them, all of a sudden within 2 seconds they're doing it for you, which lets you know that they heard you the whole entire time. All of the wants that you wanted from them, all of your needs, they heard you, they just didn't want to. That should be enough for you to know that if you get to them with that final goodbye and all of a sudden they want to shake it up out of fear, they don't want you to leave, that's all the more reason for you to leave. It should not take you to the point of saying, I don't want to be with you anymore, this is over, I'm done with this, for somebody to finally wake up. You cannot talk someone into being with you if they really do not desire to be with you in the same way that you want to be with them. It shouldn't have you second guessing who you are just because they're not ready to accept you the way that you want to be accepted. If you're ever faced with someone who does not want exactly what you want, before you get in too deep, go ahead and leave at that moment, which is what we talked about in part one, just knowing what you want, saying what you want. You have to be willing to know that, okay, this person said no, they don't want this, so I have to be done. Doing this does not mean that you have to be spiteful towards that person. It doesn't mean that you have to shoot them subliminal shots all over social media. It doesn't mean that you have to be hateful towards them. Just kind of leave it where it is, wish them the best, and move forward. How would you end a situationship? Leave gracefully and respectfully. Say what you have to say. You don't have to demean them. You don't have to tear them down. Just say what you have to say, why the situation is not good for you, why you actually feel like you deserve more, and just move on. At some point, you have to kind of take responsibility and say, okay, you know what? I went through this longer than I had to because I chose not to leave. I chose to stay. So these are the things that I had to deal with. Even after you leave, it will take you some time. You're going to go through that whole period. It's just like in a relationship of missing them and remembering all the good times, but don't let that blur your vision from moving on. You know, do what you have to do for yourself, distract yourself with a hobby or whatever you have to where eventually you will get used to no longer being in touch with that person. Hopefully one day when you're ready and it's a good time, you'll be able to be in a real relationship where someone really values and respects you enough to want to profess you in that way. Well, that wraps up Situationships Part 2. I hope you guys took something out of this. Again, if you are in a situationship, listen to these pointers. Do be realistic. It won't take you a day or two, but if you're consistent every day, every week, you can slowly get yourself up out of that situation and move on. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Leave a comment below if you like. Tell me your thoughts. And also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead. Don't be shy. Hit that subscribe button. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to watch another video. I really appreciate it. So I'll see you guys next time on Trish Talk Tuesdays. Bye.